Scrolling through my Facebook newsfeed a while back, I came across an article on artificial intelligence. I didn't pay much heed to it. I didn't really care at the time. But then I went on to read periodicals and blogs, and it turns out to be that the frequency of such articles is immense. And my perception of AI since childhood, because I used to watch these crazy movies, was that humans are going to be enslaved by machines that will turn sentient all of a sudden. So I was concerned. I wanted to know what this technological advancement meant for our generation. I did a bit of research, and well, there's good news. We're not going to be enslaved anytime soon, at least not just yet. But we are in a time of major change, disruptive change. What I mean by this is that machines are becoming more advanced. AI, big data analytics, smart machines, all these technologies, they are becoming more advanced, and they are going to change our job scenes. And our generation, you and me, we need to start caring about this now. So I've talked about this change, and well, why have we come here to this point? Like, why are we here? And for that, we need to remember that we've been through industrial revolutions, and we've been through the first three, which is water and steam, electronics, and IT. And now the commonality between these three industrial revolutions is that man and machine have come together to collaborate and improve efficiency. Now, it's been like that for over a few centuries and since our great industrial revolution, and it's been increasing linearly. It's been building on the same idea that science comes in advanced technology, therefore we have the linear increase in productivity. But now we're in the age of digital power, which is the fourth industrial revolution. Now what this means is that machines are just smarter than us humans. That's basically what's happened. They're able to do things without us guiding them. And what that means is that our jobs are in trouble. So the University of Oxford and Citibank did this, they did a bit of research, and then they found out that in the US, 47% of the jobs will be taken away by automation, in the UK 35%, and China a staggering 77%. Now, why China? Why 77%? Well, it's because in China you have a lot of manufacturing and productivity jobs, and what that means is that these supposedly lower cognitively demanding jobs will be taken away by humans, or will be taken away from humans by machines. But there is a silver lining. As you can see, jobs such as architecture and engineering, they will still be kept by us humans because apparently those are the smarter jobs, and we're still smarter than machines in general. Every change has characteristics and drivers that drive the change forward. Now, we have a few, 5 critical drivers, and I'm not going to talk about all 5 of them because high expectancy and virtual organizations seem to fit in well with what I have to say and the message that I have to give you. But these are really important, so if you get time out from your busy IB schedules, it's impossible. But if you do, please get some time to read these because it's really going to make a difference. So high expectancy, now us geographers or economists, I'll take economics, and when we think about high expectancy, we think about longevity, and that is increasing. Advancements in biomedical fields, we are living longer now. And what that means is, of course, we all want beaches down in Miami with a fast car, with a hot wife, you know. We really want that stuff. So we're probably going to have to work harder and work longer so that we can have the money for that. But at the same time, technology is changing. And what that means is that we can't be working in one line of work for our entire life. What that means is if I want to be an engineer, I can't be an engineer anymore. I got to be an engineer, a cook, a banker, and multiple things at once. We need to create a portfolio of careers and a process of lifelong learning. That's extremely important. Now, I'm going to go into that in a bit more detail. But virtual organizations. All right, who uses Reddit or Quora? Thanks. Okay, so you may not realize it, but Reddit and Quora are basic forms of virtual organizations. This is the technology that's in its infancy, where we're able to come up with problems or ideas and put it online, and we get multiple feedbacks and solutions from different experts around the world. When you think about an organization, you think about big MNCs where people are trapped in their small offices and typing up emails like, how do you do this, how do you do that? I'm not able to understand. I'm waiting for this guy's emails. It's taken 3 weeks. He hasn't replied. I don't know what's going on. Right? I'm falling back on my deadlines. And that's just not as efficient anymore. But virtual organizations, they're able to get your replies, and it's able to get extremely good replies in super short time. You're connected with the entire world. Now, that's in the whole gist of globalization. We are becoming more and more globalized, if not already. So virtual organizations are something that we are definitely going to see. And there are going to be four entities. As economists would know, stakeholders. We have individuals, businesses, educational institutions, and governmental policymakers. These four are going to get affected, and these four need to do something about these changes. So I've talked about the changes, why they've come along, but it's skills. At the end of the day, I mean, it's skills that we come to school to learn about skills. And traditionally, in schools, we came to learn about the hard skills, things like we just learned a few, like for example, chemistry, learn about titration, then we go on to become chemists. And if we become chemists, then we just do those basic things that we know how to do titration, we can make our drugs, right? So that's the hard skills. But now we're coming into a paradigm of change where we need soft skills. And fortunately, the IB has us covered for this. Again, like, whoa, the IB is actually helping us. Mind-blowing, but it is. So emotional intelligence, contextual intelligence, cross-cultural competency, and virtual collaboration. Extremely important. Now, soft skills are something that will be required in the future so that we can better work together in our completely different environment, because machines are going to be taking over with the hard skills. But hard skills are super important. Now, I talked about IB being useful. EEs and IAs, there may be a few of you who have just finished that whole cycle and that whole stress. Well, nice one. I mean, I congratulate you on that, but it really is going to help you, because contextual intelligence is important. Just learning something from the book and just making it stale knowledge and putting it aside and being like, you know, once upon a time I knew how to do that, but it's just gone now. But the EEs and the IAs, they're making us apply this knowledge into real life situations and get actual experience from it and solve problems. So the IB is a step ahead compared to other syllabuses. That's what I would say. And, well, this is an international school, so cross-cultural competency, well, you're all, again, you're ahead of the game, which is what we need. Now, hard skills are super important. I didn't touch over big data analytics much, but you need those things, because everyone, I mean, we are all super tech-savvy, Snapchat, Facebook, and stuff, that's great, but we need to go into the more analytical and the more advanced technologies to understand how big data and all these things are going to work. If you won't realize it, but Google Maps is basically big data, where you're able to know that there's traffic in this route, but somehow you're able to curve that area and just go on a faster route and reach your destination quickly. And that's basically the implementation of data literacy, media technology savviness with information from big data into design thinking. Now, what design thinking is that what it actually is that you're able to take all these aspects and information and you're able to compile it to create solutions for our economy and our society, so that we just work on efficiency, because at the end of the day, that's the drive. Why do we innovate? Because we want efficiency, because we earn money. Sorry, that's crass, but that's basically what it is at the end of the day. So that leads on to my proposed model. So previously, the personal leadership model was that we would believe, we would behave, and we would come up with results. Now, what do I mean by belief? What do I mean by behavior? And what do I mean by results? So believing is basically the values that are instilled within you and your faith that you have towards the start. So I'm Indian, and my beliefs, whether I like it or not, is that I'm going to be an engineer. So that's what my parents tell me. So, boy, you're going to be an engineer. Okay. So I start off with engineering. So I go to school, I learn my STEM subjects, and I do a degree in BE, and I do a master's in that. And that's my belief. That's basically me creating my beliefs. Now my behavior is that I go and work in my line of field, and the results is the money I earn. Pretty content. It is what it is. I mean, there's 1.2 billion Indians out there, and all of us live lives in our own ways using this model. But that was back then. Times have changed now, and belief needs to turn into seeking. And I really thank my TOK teacher for this, my TOK coordinator, where he told me about Socrates, and this fits in really well, surprisingly, where Socrates says that true knowledge exists in knowing nothing. Now, let me give you an analogy, right? So, the fourth industrial revolution is a dark room. You absolutely don't know what's going on. Things are super unpredictable. You walk in, your eyes close, completely darkness, and then you're just seeking is the process of feeling around the room. So you feel around the room, you try to understand what's going on, you gather more knowledge, and eventually you hit the light switch and everything is super clear. the ignorance and the uncertainties of this new change are gone, and you're able to see things completely clearly. And that's what's super important. So, and it needs to be realized that when you talk about things like talent, for example, people are like, but I don't have it in me, I wasn't born with it, like, you can't expect me to do so well. But seeking is not like talent. It's not a genetic predisposition. It's an active endeavor. We can all do it. We can all be smart if we put effort, that is. And these are some really important skills that you need. Again, you would probably see a few TOK terms, critical thinking. And this also alludes to the scientific method, questioning, observing, and experimenting. Now, that's a really important aspect. As you would have known, the scientific method has that allowed us to do this. In fact, this wouldn't be possible, projectors. It's because of the scientific method and the advancements made by the greats beyond us. Because they use this method. Now it's time for us to use this method and put it into our own lives so that we are able to actually be efficient and innovate. And so this is also another part of my model, where creativity and economics. Now what does this mean? This makes sense. Like, what? But at the end of the day, we all want to make money, we all want to get rich, but we want to have fun while we're doing it. We want to do it through things that we are good at. And that's really important, because this change is allowing us to be more experimental and creative with chances we have. And these four individuals, these four entities that I said I'd mentioned previously, well, they need to come together and work together. As individuals, we need to make our personal enterprises. Now, this is the key word, where we need to have a portfolio of skills. For example, on Mondays to Fridays, I can be a top-notch investment banker down at Morgan Stanley, but on the weekends, I could be an excellent pizza chef down at a five-star restaurant at MBS, for example. Right? Now, that's the goal. That's what we really want to do. That we should have these multiple skills so that organizations can come to us and be like, well, you can do this, this, and this. Well, obviously, I'm going to take you, because I don't need to employ so many people anymore. I can do it with the same person. And educational institutions and businesses. Now, there is a likelihood of massive disparity with this change, because as it is, again, allusion to economics, you have structural unemployment when you go from sectors, from primary to secondary, secondary to tertiary, but this is beyond tertiary. And if you have a bunch of people that are left unskilled, what you're going to have is mass disparity, violence, killings, and we already have enough of that, as you know. And it's time that we actually make an advancement in our endeavors to be a better race as humans. And this is what's going to be important, where businesses and educational institutions come forward and help us humans reskill. And of course, the most important part, though, you must realize is that us individuals really need to be working on this. I had a quote up here by Albert Einstein. I guess that isn't there. Never mind, but I'm just going to say it anyways. So what Albert Einstein said is that imagination is more important than knowledge. When you think about imagination, of course it's imagination. We should all be imaginative. But I'm going to put it in a different perspective. And what I mean by imagination is passion. We're all passionate people. Humans are extremely passionate. For example, I have my passions in music, and I realize that I can do things with my passions. For example, I play the drums, and I want to get certifications in my drums so that I'm currently working on that stuff. So I get certifications, at the same time learning about music technology. That way, I can combine these skills and actually do something with that in the future. And if you're going to have a portfolio of careers and skills in the first place, why not make it something that you will enjoy? So make one of them your passions. That's really important. And apart from that, if you're passionate about something, you're probably going to do something with it. You're going to innovate, and you're going to think ahead and be creative. Because if you don't care about something, you're probably going to flunk and be bad at it. But that's not an excuse. You shouldn't be bad at it and flunk at different things. But you should take it from starting off with your passions. So be passionate about something, do something, be creative about it, translate that into your other portfolios and other lines of work. And that's something that's really important, because this is a time of change. And you must remember that seeking is the key word. If you seek, you'll be able to shine light on ignorance and all the disparities that come with not knowing, because it's really important to know. And so I did research, citations, and references, because, you know, in the gist of IB, academic honesty, make sure to cite your work, like actually. All right. Thank you.